Hello everyone and welcome to Cooking with Chef Boyardee. 'Tis the season for some Christmas food, and so tonight I'll be preparing roast beef as seen in front of you with some mashed potatoes and green beans. But first, the prerequisite elf apron has to go on. Make sure the strings are all good to go. Give me a minute, they're a little tricky, tying behind my back. And there we go, we got it. Make yourself look nice, roll up the sleeves, and we're ready to go. First, make a seasoning rub for your roast, starting with 1 tablespoon each of garlic powder, onion powder, rosemary, and thyme. Mix it all up and then proceed to season with salt and pepper. Mix it up some more and then apply thoroughly to your roast. Make sure to get every nook and cranny and get the excess that sprinkles off the side. We don't want any seasoning to go to waste here. We want a roast that's packed full of flavor. Rub it in. Sprinkle on the sides and get the excess side like you're playing with Play-Doh and you need time to clean up. Next, we need to take our roast out of the pan because we forgot to spray it beforehand. Spray on some cooking spray. I prefer olive oil cooking spray. Just tastes nicer. You can use regular olive oil. I don't really care. Lay it back in and then proceed to lay in some common roasting vegetables. If you have OCD like me, make sure you spread them out in an even pattern. Otherwise, I don't care how you spread them out. Now our roast is unevenly shaped here, so we need to get a small sheet of aluminum foil to cover the end of it, otherwise it might get overcooked. Off camera, we have a preheated oven set to 345 degrees, and we're going to wrap our roast. Make sure every part of the small end is covered. Make sure the vegetables are all set to go. And pop it in the oven for about an hour. Now we have to snap the ends off some green beans that we'll be preparing off camera. Make sure to snap off all the little rough ends so that you don't get a mouthful of rough, callous green beans. Next, for the green beans, we'll be chopping a shallot that we'll be cooking with it. You're going to put a slight cut down the center to make sure you get that nice size that you're looking for the diced. Start putting some slits in, and then begin chopping. After that, we'll take our pre-peeled potatoes with skin left on for seasoning and texture and start cutting them into about 1-inch cubes. These will be boiling off camera with a nice pot of water that we've been boiling, and clean our cutting board next to make sure that we have room to carve the meat. Just kidding, don't gotta be creepy about it. Let's just carve some roast beef because it's about done. However, upon taking the temperature, realize that it's not to your liking and it's still a little raw, and put it back in the oven for about 10 more minutes so that it'll be nice and cooked. Alright, 10 more minutes later and it's done. Now it's really time to carve the meat. So just start slicing it up, and you see it's a little overdone, but it's not too bad. It's still roast beef that's seasoned deliciously, but not to my liking. Next, we're going to try and slice a little bit off, plate up. Make sure your roast looks all nice and oops! Oh, turned out better than I expected. Put in a little bowl of roasting vegetables to serve alongside the roast beef, and prepare your mashed potatoes and green beans in 2 bowls. Present everything, make it look nice, and move that a little bit. There we go. Now everything looks nice. So we have mashed potatoes, the roasting vegetables that came alongside our roast, and some green beans. And now bring in the guest of honor and my biggest fan, my mom. She's been smelling this the whole night and she's ready to about eat it. She's also been helping me off the camera, sauteing the green beans and helping me boil the potatoes. Now hand her a plate and get to eating. Now, even though you have a messy workstation and a roast that may not be cooked to your liking, none of that really matters when you cook around Christmas time. What really matters is family and friends to share the food with, and sharing a meal that you can all enjoy, even if you have a few mental breakdowns trying to make a Yule log afterwards. But, no problem. Now, while we eat this, we're going to sign off. Thank you for watching. Have a happy holiday. And maybe cook some food while you're at home. Maybe if you want to make some roast beef like this one, you can. I don't really care. Goodbye. Merry Christmas.